Africa, known to be one of the world's greatest hunting destinations. Our hunters are excited to be returning to the Dark Continent. However, on this hunt, the stakes are high as the hunt switches from a game of predator versus prey to a hunt of predator versus predator, as our team will be chasing after one of the most dangerous of Africa's Big Five. This week, Gold Tip's force has left the lower 48 and traveled to the Dark Continent of Africa to hunt with Stain Caracal safaris. With a large and vast amount of property to cover, Stain Caracal has been known for their unbelievable plains game hunting. But this week, our team will take part in the stalk for one of Africa's Big Five.
You know, anytime you're hunting these big cats, I mean, it can get a little dicey. When I hunted my female, there was a spot and stalk with a bow, and they tried to bait her, and that didn't work. And these cats, they don't always know to be afraid. You know, they are the dominant predator in their mind, and no little man's going to chase them away. And this cat let me get within about 13 yards at one time. I just couldn't get a shot. And what's interesting is you get close, and you can, you know, they told me, watch the tip of the tail. When you see that tip of that tail start popping, you know that cat's blood pressure up and things are about to happen. You know, if you're going to hunt these dangerous animals, you need to be mentally prepared. I mean, practice with your rifle, practice with your bow, trust your professional hunter, but be prepared to the fact that you're hunting an animal that thinks they're the top of the food chain.
It's the first day on the hunt for lion, and as the sun rises, Ray, Jim, and professional hunter Chico prepare for the following days of hunting.
We're going to drag the roads and hopefully be able to find these tracks of where this lion is and find out which camp he's in, all right?
Yeah, we'll find out, you know, we'll run all the roads, and that way we'll see if he's crossed this road at all. We'll hopefully catch him one of these big blocks and try to sort him out.
But this is where the game begins. I mean, who knows where he's at, how far away he is, or whether he'll even stay there long enough for Ray to get a poke at him.
The rest of the day is spent dragging roads and placing baits. And as the sun sets and the moon begins to rise over the African landscape, our hunters are in high hopes that the chase will begin come morning.
Okay guys, good news. After much looking with a lot of trackers out in the bush, we've actually got the first lion track that hit and crossed one of the roads that we had dragged. You ready, Ray?
We're ready. It's a nice sunny day in Africa. When you're chasing lions, it doesn't get any better than that. All trucks just try to sneak in here and see him before he sees us. You know, we don't want him to blow out, and we sure don't want him to charge.
Well, you didn't want him to charge because he had a bow. I wanted him to charge because I have a savage.
Our stalk for one of Africa's most dangerous animals will continue as Ray and Jim make their way cautiously through the thick brush of South Africa.
That's what it's like hunting the Big Five. Anytime you're around these animals, I mean, they're so dangerous. Things can happen so fast. Everybody's got to be paying attention. We just need to be careful.
Gold Tip's force is in South Africa on the hunt for lion with Stain Caracal safaris. It's the last day of Ray's safari, and after the team spots the nice male lion they jumped off a kill earlier that morning, Ray, his son Jared, and PH Chico sneak through the bushveld to try and get within range.
This lion hunt was going to be a little bit different because my son Jared was with me. And at first I wasn't sure I even wanted him to leave the vehicle just because of the danger factor here. This is a very big cat and can be extremely aggressive.
All right, he's
don't need a stick. Go ahead and take him.
I told Jared, I said, Jared, you stay right behind me no matter what happens. You stay right behind me. And I moved a little bit trying to get a better look at this cat, and he just pinned his ears back and laid like he's going to lay flat on the ground. And I couldn't see him very well, so I moved a little bit to the right, and up he come.
Ready? Yes, take him.
Take him again, take him again. Take him again, take him again. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Come here, take it. Write it down, come with me, slowly. Come with me, right. There he goes, there he goes. Okay, take it. Let's go. You ready?
Still moving.
Still moving. Still there. Still there. Let's go. Be ready. All right.
I was trying to hold it nice and easy.
That's a perfect shot there, right there. You shot him right through the heart there.
Josh, it does happen. Even I got cut.
That's the way to do it. Click, quick, clean, humane.
That's right.
Beautiful shooting.
A Savage Model 16 458 Winchester Magnum just took its first dangerous African animal. It's one of the big five. Chico, it's been a long week, buddy.
A long week. We got him, man. We got him.
Let's just make sure he's done. How bad am I whacked?
No, there's hardly even.
I got a hard head.
Blood.
I got a hard head, probably like Chico. He does this for fun every day of his life. Looks pretty dead to me. We have us an African lion. Guys, the forces in South Africa with Stain Caracal Safaris, and I gotta tell you, it's been an incredible week. And Chico, I wanna thank you. I will thank Paul and the other owners when we see them. Yeah. But this cat has been a huge challenge for us. We've baited this cat, we've drugged the roads, we've pushed this cat, we tried to do spot and stalk. We did it all the hard way, and it finally paid off. The last day, the last 2 hours of daylight, because we had to leave tonight.
Ray, I gotta tell you this, man, I feel fortunate to be able to hunt with people like you, and looking forward to the future, seeing more of the force in Africa.
Well, the only thing I feel bad about is the fact that Keith and Jimmy aren't here. Keith's on his way, he's flying in, and Jimmy had to leave to another camp.
Oh yeah.
And it's just really too bad they couldn't be here. And Chico, I gotta thank you and the guys from Stain Caracal Safaris, Paul and Shaw, the owners. It's just been an incredible week. You know, I was lucky enough to be able to bring my son, and you guys have been great to be with.
It's our honor, sir.
So anyway, guys, you got to get over here and try this African hunting. It's unbelievable. The hosts are incredible. The PHs are #1. The lodge, you just got to get over here and see it for yourself. We'll see you here next week on The Force.
Few hunts in a sportsman's life can compare to hunting Africa's Big Five. The thrill of the chase pushes you to new limits, waiting and preparing for that one single moment of pure terror. And just remember, if it hits the fan, just be faster than the slowest member of the group. Gold Tip's force is sneaking through the hills of the Lone Star State after some big white-tailed bucks with professional pitchers Brian Fuentes and Jeremy Affeldt. It's the third day of the hunt, and it looks like Jim and Ray have found a set of keys that Marani River Ranch owner Kevin Reed has been trying to hide from them all week.
Kevin, you made a big mistake.
You know you're in the right deer camp when you show up and there's a Hummer in camp.
It's pretty now,
Give him an hour.
It has leveling and traction devices. It's got 4 screens in it. It's got a bow case up there from a bow hunter. Check this out. You got
Built-in cooler.
Look at this. Look at this. This guy has to be a Bowtechian just like the rest of them. Check this out. This has got an entire bow case that's up in the roof line here. Speakers, sound system all around.
Remote control, spotlight on the roof.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, did I tell you you don't get to drive?
I just hope we come back in one piece. You know, when in Texas, do as the Texans do. None of this road hunting stuff. This is called creek hunting. Driving down the creek.
This rig is so cool. This separates the men from the boys right here. I must be a boy because I don't own one yet.
Yeah, but they also say you can't roll it, and we don't want Jimmy to prove that.
That right there is a hunting machine. Reminds me of myself.
The best part about it is we made it back to camp with 4 tires on the ground. Okay.
Time to go whitetail hunt. The confidence level of where I'm actually sitting, it has to be logically plotted out in my head for me to feel comfortable. And so when we got here, I wanted to make some modifications. We had looked at several different drainages. We knew where a lot of the deer were actually migrating out of the lowland hills. For me, I have to be way up, out of peripheral vision of a deer. We had decided that we were going to run 2 stands up in this old live oak. At a glance, you don't see a single deer. And then as the sun started to get lower and lower, there were deer everywhere. They're coming in from beside us and from behind us and in front of us. And the whole hill just came alive. And I was amazed that these deer hide in this brush country like they do, and they started to funnel right down in front of us. And it wasn't long before I saw this little typical 110-inch little 4x4 started to chase the does around. And then Randy, my cameraman, my son, was right over my shoulder, and he bumped me and he said, "Dad, you have no idea what's standing behind us." And pretty soon I saw this just a magnificent frame. That deer made a huge circle and he got closer and closer and closer, and my adrenaline went up and up and up. It was just going to come in absolutely perfect. The only problem is he was behind a tree and he had to be able to clear. That is one of the biggest deer I've ever drawn on in my life in Texas. We planned this hunt, we planted these stands, we were out in this flat, we saw a ton of tracks. We got out here and the deer just started to absolutely explode. My heart was pounding back and forth like 50 times. This is why we hunt. When a plan comes together. There is my deer right there. Butch, good job. Oh! An absolutely extraordinary deer with extraordinary people out in the great state of Texas, where they know all about game management, taking off big, massive bucks like this.
With 2 bruisers in the truck, host Ray Bunny will be next on the list after a big Texas whitetail. However, looking for one certain buck he saw earlier in the week may drive Ray to eat tag soup on his last night in Texas.
Man, you cannot say the word Diamond T without me getting instantly excited and thinking about big mule deer. This is the place. I believe that the new world record typical mule deer in the next 2 years will come from Alberta. A lot of people have talked about Saskatchewan and their whitetail deer being big. Alberta's got whitetails like they have mule deer. The vittles, the genetics, the feed, the nutrition, everything is in place in Alberta. This is the good old days in Alberta for big mule deer bucks.
You know, Jimmy's been hunting up with Byron at Diamond T for years for those big mule deer. And all I've been hearing about is these 180 to 200 inch mule deer that you can walk right up to. And I thought, come on, there's got to be a gimmick here. But it's true. I mean, you get to find those big bucks bedded in the canola, you can walk up within 20 yards of them. You'll definitely see those big racks sticking up through those yellow flowers.
The deer population is stable, it's growing. They had a severe winter about 6 or 7 years ago that put them down a little bit, and they've started to raise back up. And now, in a typical year, a resident in the state of Alberta where we hunt has to draw for an average of 5 years before he gets a tag. But you, as a non-resident, through outfitter tags, are able to hunt these big mule deer bucks every single year. This is a hunt that I look forward to because this is where the giants live. Not only their horn and their mass and size, but their bodies, their stature, the fact that they live in these big open fields. Anything that makes us a better bow hunter, we're in. But the different techniques that we learned from either the guides, the outfitters, things that we adapt. A lot of times Ray and I don't agree on every single strategy, and we use a lot of different ones amongst ourselves in order to accomplish the same goal. And so now what I've done is, I've stuck my hand behind my back, just like this. It allows me to hold my bow out of the way of whatever I'm climbing through. And then what I've done is, I've used my other hand as a crutch. And what I'll do is I'll come in here with the canola, and then I'll just kick down, and as I move, I will move this canola out of the way and then allow me to slither through the middle of the canola or whatever I'm stalking in, and ultimately this allowed me to be quieter. It's my bow's out of the way.
Well, yeah, with your one arm and 2 legs, even on your knees, you crawl 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, I know.
It's not fair.
I could beat you to the buck if there was a buck out there, I could beat you to him.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna do that. Because I'm shorter, I'm just gonna put my bow flat and I'm gonna go like this. And I'll still beat you there. Let's go kill a buck.
Oh man, can you believe that? It's always about competition. Very seldom does he win, but it's all about competition to him.
You know, it was pretty amazing when we found the mule deer that we actually ended up hunting. There was a huge canola field that Glenn knew was hidden way back off the end of a dirt road. So we drove back there, and at first we couldn't see the buck. So we took a couple different positions, but the lay of the land wasn't perfectly flat. It had a couple small draws in it. And these bucks were bedded in one of the low spots. We finally got a spot and scope on them that looked like 3 really nice bucks.
Well, there's been 8 bucks spotted in this field. We can see 3 right now, and 5 minutes ago you could see none. This canola is about 3 feet tall to 4 feet tall in places.
The thing is that that deer that he's looking at is to the far left right now, which is perfect for the wind and perfect for the approach. So the largest deer we see right now is in prime location. So Ray, you don't have very long, dude. You better get going.
Okay, my guide Glenn and I gotta go shoot a mule deer. Ready?
Gentlemen, this is not a drill. This is what we've been trained for. This is the real deal. Failure is not an option. If you want to pick up that deer tag, I'll take it from you.
You got 10,000 in your pocket?
Not today.
See how quick I can change his mind? So it's 5 bucks, then 3 bedded, and now they've all bedded again. We can just see the horn tips on the 1 buck. So now we got to make a decision. Do we start crawling through the canola, or do we give them time and see if they'll get up and feed? But it looks like they're laying in their bed and their heads are moving, so they're laying there feeding. This canola that make that cooking oil, and they're just stuffing themselves going into wintertime. Be great to eat. We just got to get an arrow in one.
From what they were telling me is when these deer finally bed down for the day, you can just move on them. So Glenn and I are being real patient, picking our way through, found a nice little irrigation ditch to get within about 100 yards of these deer.
You know, if I was 30 years younger, it'd be a whole lot easier. The excitement never leaves. I think we're okay.
Next thing I know, here comes Jimmy just screaming across the field. He'd been watching these bucks, figured they were down for the day, and here he comes. He's just like an antelope running across that field. Running, says, let's go. He says, they're not gonna be down there forever. It was kind of nice having him there because when things finally happened, I had Jimmy behind the camera. Next thing you know, we're within 40 yards of 3 of these big mule deer bucks. And they were so asleep when I got up there close. I did a real light whistle, figured they'd blow out of their bed, and nothing. I did a couple little kissing noises, nothing. And Jimmy finally says, "Hey, deer, you gonna get up?" Hello.
Yes, my first ever Alberta mule deer. The force is in Alberta in the big canola fields. That's my first ever Alberta mule deer, and I gotta tell you, that was a kick in the pants. About 40 yards in the middle of nowhere, sun shining, beautiful day. We gotta go call Byron. You know, Jimmy, you're such a game hog. He's been here for years. It took me 3 years to get this invite. Thanks, buddy. Let's go get my mule deer.
The force is in Alberta, Canada with big mule deer bucks, and Bunny just laid the hammer down. This is really an extraordinary resource. This is a lot of fun out here in the canola. They've did some surveys and they found out that there's over 4,000 elk in one unit within access here. And a lot of the locals, like Glenn, you guys have to draw for how many years before you get a mule deer tag?
Right now for residents, probably 6 or 7 years for this unit. Again, lots of applicants, and you guys come along and you guys get a lot of opportunities, but it's really good.
The bow hunting's catching on up here, right?
It is, yeah, and it's a general season for archery. So, yeah.
But here, as a non-resident, you come up and hunt with our guide friends here, and you know, Sergeant Keith, this is his, Master Sergeant, excuse me. This is his second year up here, and you know, Jimmy.
I've been here like the 8th year in a row, and I'm going to come here until the day I die, or they don't kick me out of the province for shooting too many deer. So if you see my face on a wanted poster that said he shot too many deer in Canada, yeah, this is where I shot him.
Because I didn't shoot a bigger one than Jimmy this year. I think his is a little bigger than mine. I'll probably get an invite next year.
Half a hunt is who you're with, and these are our friends. This is our hunting party. Everybody out there, that's what the force is all about: connecting sportsmen and really making a difference in your own community and spending your time and your resources in a positive way to promote the greatest sport on earth. Right. Hunting and fishing.
Glenn, I want to thank you first because you've been hanging out with us.
You're welcome, Ray.
Working hard and putting on the miles. We've been dozing off in the truck and he's just putting on miles, and it finally paid off. 2 deer in 2 days. Actually 3 deer in 2 days because Master Sergeant Keith shot his yesterday morning.
Become a force in your own community. Get out, get a kid fishing, hunting, trapping, and shooting big firearms and big bows long range. And we'll see you again next week right here on the
Force.
Jimmy,
good job, bud. Thanks for being here.
Congratulations. Thanks a lot, Glenn.
Master Sergeant Keith.
Yeah.
Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. We had to actually go to a store and buy meat because we haven't shot any yet because we've got Ray in camp. Well, tomorrow I'm going to shoot something, and then Ray will eat this and I'm going to eat some good stuff.